Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching PETV underscore reacts. That's PETV underscore reacts, where we do movie and television reviews. As you all come in, please make sure that you are hitting that like button and please subscribe. I'd appreciate it. It helps with my helps with the algorithm, and I want to get this page up to the numbers that I have on my first page. And also, here are the two pages that I have. We're on PETV underscore reacts, and Pam Entertainment TV is my second page. So please subscribe to both of them. All right, people. We are in season 2, episode 2, entitled Residence. And so this show again is fast moving. So you know when I'll go to a different topic, it's fast moving and it goes in different points in time. So you will know what time frame I'm in because I will say meanwhile in dot dot dot. Okay? And so that's how I want to be able to do that to try to get through as much as information as possible. So, as we left off from the first episode, we got Shaw. Uh, Kong was trying to get the creature, but was unsuccessful in getting the creature. And we see what happened in the last episode from the point of view of I guess a helicopter of Kong. We got a closer image of Kong basically, and he's pissed off as he was before. They're going back to the outpost. So we're in 2017 at Outpost 18. The Shaw and the team, they're safe, but they land at the outpost. Shaw asks Keiko, did she see the monster and did she recognize it? Keiko confirms. Shaw is not too happy about being at Monarch. As they land, one of the bug creatures drops from the helicopter. Baby. And you talking about ugly? You talk about ugly. Baby, that looked like a mixture of a crab, a roach, and an octopus. Child, a mess. Tim is in charge, and baby, when I tell you Tim is frazzled and out of his depth, he don't know what to do. He wants to wait to get orders from headquarters, and they're telling them they are out of range because the island is emitting some kind of pulse that they're not able to send any message out of. They got to move. Shaw and Keiko are screaming like, "Listen, we need to follow this creature." Because and then Shaw starts speaking it because we don't want another G Day and da 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 this. And Keiko's like, "What's a G Day? What's going on?" Because she remember Keiko ain't been back there since the 50s. She don't know what's going on. And no one has time to explain it. Maybe she'll get some time to explain it. Uh Tim is frazzled, and Shaw basically convinced him, hey, they got to go after the creature. That's the best thing to do. So they go after the creature, and once they get into a certain range, they're going to call for headquarters to see what they need to do. So they're following the creature. Baby, the little bug creature is all on deck, baby. Just walking all on deck, looking at everything, making its way through stuff, chittering, having that little chittering sound. And no one is paying any attention because everybody's just going along minding their own business. Kentaro and Hiroshi are arguing because they both know that they effed up, that they shouldn't have, the button shouldn't have been pressed, because they're the ones that let the creature through. And Kate overhears them, and then she gets all, oh my God, y'all are talking about me. It's my fault. Yes, Kate, it is your fault. Because truly you could have waited. Truly you could have waited, but you didn't. And so now you've got this big Titan creature that you've let loose on the world. And if that Titan creature, excuse me, reaches a populated area, just like on G-Day when Godzilla came to shore, you're going to be responsible. You are responsible. Hiroshi tries to comfort his daughter, but she gets into that woe is me stuff. And he's like, if you want to blame anybody, blame me, because I was the one that kept their things from you. This is why you all followed to try to find me. It's my fault. Kate's like, nah, you always trying to run away. It was a whole bunch of stuff, and I wasn't even worried about it. So Kate bumps into a crew member who goes into what looks like a medical bay. Baby, he starts hearing that little chitter from that creature. He looks up, and that creature attacks him. So he's been pruned from the timeline. So meanwhile, back at the flashback that Keiko was having. Keiko and Shaw are taking samples from the water, and they realize that the water has been enriched. Keiko wants to take samples, she wants to stay, but Bill is like, nah, I need to go and see if I can follow this creature, find its migrational paths, all of this stuff. He just saw a map and he's just willing to follow it. And Keiko tells him, no, I'm not going. Keiko was like, and I am telling you, I'm not going. I guess she thought she was gonna get some pushback from Bill. Bill was like, fine, hey, we can divide and conquer. He's not even paying her really no attention. He's like, we can divide and conquer. Sha'll stay with you. I'll go follow these migrational packs. Maybe I can get a line on the creature. Da 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 this, da 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 that. Bill ends up leaving. Keiko gets to Keiko is upset, but she lets him go. Meanwhile, back at Outpost in 2017 at Outpost 18, Tim has a conversation with Shaw and says that he's received orders from headquarters and that they're supposed to follow the creature. Shaw says, fine. He says, I also received orders that I'm supposed to detain you and put you into custody and bring you back to headquarters. But he says, I'm not about to follow that order because basically he needs Shaw to help him guide everybody through whatever he needs to be guided through. Tim goes back and said he's still not comfortable. He's not really comfortable with his position. He's really still not comfortable with being with his attention. He tells how he started his job at Monarch and everything like that. Shaw gives him a little pep talk. They move on. Once again, Kate is found somewhere brooding, and Carol comes and asks her what's wrong. And she asked her if she called her mom. And Kate's like, no, I don't know what to say. The people on the ship said that they contacted our folks and said we were okay. And Carol's like, but you didn't call your mom? She says, I hadn't spoken to my people in 2 years, but I still call and tell them that I'm okay. Why you didn't do it? She's like, oh my God, it was my fault. And Carol, it was my fault. Because I did. Carol says, no, stop it. It's all our faults. It is all our faults. We all decided that we were going to go back and to go back for Shaw because it was the right thing to do. She was basically telling her, put your big girl panties on. You made a decision. You need to stick and live with that decision. We need to go after this creature, and that's what we need to do. Call your mama, girl. Don't be sitting up here not calling nobody. We could be getting into another G day, and you hadn't called anybody, you hadn't done anything because you over here brooding. Put your big girl panties on is basically what Carol says. And she says, I'm not going to stand here and have no pity party with you. And she walked off. We're going to be on the bridge. Outpost is still tracking the creature. And here's my question that I had about all of this. We saw this tracking and stuff like this. In the movies, Godzilla could feel when one of the Titans were entering his space. So my question is, because the last time we saw Godzilla was 2014, 2015-ish, right? Godzilla don't feel this Titan out here in this water. Godzilla does not feel this Titan out here in this water. Where is Godzilla? Because any other beast, Godzilla is going 20 knots, going 30, 40, 50, 60, I don't know, whatever the fastest way that he can swim, trying to head off another creature. Why does he not feel this particular creature? Keiko is talking to Shaw, wanting to figure out what was he doing, because again, she's been gone since the 50s. Shaw has lived a full life. She wants to know what happened. Why did he take over a base and stuff like that? And so Shaw, shortly tries to tell him about her shenanigans after he had left. They find out that creature is moving fast and about to approach some ships. The outpost, the ship is moving as fast as it can. It is about to enter the danger zone. It can't do that. But Keiko gives a speech to Tim and says, look, we either stop it from hitting those ships or we have to do some explaining. And I know people don't do, we're going to have to do some explaining. Tim is like, okay, go punch it. Let's go as fast as you can to get to those ships. So they go faster. Meanwhile, at the Keiko's flashback back in the country of Chile, uh, Bill leaves Shaw and Keiko. Keiko and Shaw are in the cave. Keiko talks to Shaw about her arranged marriage to Hiroshi's father. Because you remember, Bill is Hiroshi's stepfather. She says that Hiroshi's father, it was an arranged marriage. He was a doctor. He left her. He didn't understand her or anything like that. She loved him. He took care of her. Um, but he didn't understand her. He just wanted her to be the mother of a child. Wasn't really interested in any of the stuff that she was doing. She said that he went to war back in the 40s. And you remember back, Japan was bombed, because I think she's Japanese. Japan was bombed and everything like that. And he died of cancer. I guess he got too caught up in that radiation. And he ended up dying of cancer right after Hiroshi was born. She opines about her love for Bill. She says, even though Bill is this wanderer, this adventurer, and all this other stuff, and sometimes he does things that seems to be heartless, the one thing that she loves about him, that he allows for her to be who she is. He respects who she is. He allows for her to be her best, even though sometimes that she misses him because, she can't be with him because he's always on adventures as well. She asks Shaw, does he feel the vibration? And remember, these two are very, very flirty. And so when she asks, do you feel that? I guess he's thinking that that she wants to get it on, but she's like, no, there's some vibrations going on. She puts her stethoscope to her ears, and she puts it down to the bottom of the cave. Going back to 2017 and Outpost 18, the team devises a plan to divert the Titan from hitting the 14 ships. They have 20 minutes. Basically, they want to put this sonic resonance out in the water to see if that would cause for the Titan to turn around. They're going to attach it to the drone. They have 20 minutes to do this. So then we get back meanwhile, back at the Chile flashback. The guy who beat up Bill comes into the cave where they are. He invites them to a festival and everything. As I said in that first episode, it all seems like a setup, like a ritual sacrifice. That's the way it feels to me. It seems like this ritual sacrifice. But they're like, Shaw's like, nah, we just need to go. Keiko's like, sure, we'll stay. And Shaw is looking like, I don't know if we should have accepted, but Keiko accepts. We go right back to the Outpost 2017 at Outpost 18. We're back. What's curious to me is, with this creature out here in the water, they don't have any capabilities on ship to sense the little bug-like creature on board. What I mean is, they've got all these capabilities to move and do all of this stuff, but they don't have sensitive enough. They don't have cameras or anything that's picking up odd things. Shouldn't their cameras be picking up infrared or odd things on the ship? Because I remember in the movies, they had cameras that picked up somebody who wasn't supposed to be. I don't know. It just seems odd that they don't have that kind of capabilities to sense that. But it's for the story, but it didn't make any sense to me. Baby, the bug creature is just running amok, baby. It's just running through this whole ship, leaving blood splatter everywhere. Hiroshi is working with his mother. Well, Hiroshi is working on this apparatus for the drone. He's sitting there with his mother. He's frustrated because he can't find the right frequency. And then he goes to his habit of biting his nails. And then his mother slaps his hand. And for him, that's kind of comforting, because that's what he remembers most about his mom. Because you have to remember, even though I don't like him because he's a doggone bigamist, he is acting out because of the fact that he had his mother. And he kind of resents Bill for taking his mother out on these adventures and leaving him with the nanny. And he didn't have his mother the way that he felt like he needed to have his mom. They have a moment. Keiko starts talking about Bill. Hiroshi is not feeling what he's saying. And he basically tells her, listen, Bill, she's still talking about Bill like how she loved him. She doesn't realize how Bill actually was when she was gone. And Hiroshi basically tells her, look, Bill was more at home on adventures than he was at home with me. So the bug creature, like I said, is living La Vida Baloca on Outpost 18. He whizzes by Kate's room. Kate goes out in the hallway. She sees old Big Buggy, baby. Big Buggy, little Buggy turns around, and Kate grabs these fire extinguishers. She tells her little, I am woman, hear me roar speech. Baby, that bug started coming towards Kate. She had that fire extinguisher in hand, and she didn't pull the pin out of the fire extinguisher, so it wasn't no good. Bug creature was just about to eat her, and next thing you know, uh, 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 Kentaru and Carol come down the steps. He shoots the bug creature with this little, I guess it looked like a flare. I don't know exactly what it is, but he shoots the bug creature a couple of times. Then Kate beats the bug creature, and baby, that bug was getting beaten. The next thing you know, he emitted this because they're rushing after the big Titan to keep it from running into those 14 ships. Then that little bug creature emits this huge noise, and that causes the big Titan bug to turn around, and baby, that big bug is coming back towards the outpost. So meanwhile, back at the flashback, the chilly flashback, basically they're having that festival. It begins. The guy that beat up Bill in the bar is offering Keiko and Shaw drinks. They take a sip of the drink. The festival is going. Everybody's moving, dancing, having a good old time. Keiko is starting to feel a little something, and she asks Bill, does it's something in the drink, but by the time they're dancing and everything, and then there's this big old fish that is brought to the center. You remember I told you I thought it was an altar, and you remember I told you it looked like a human sacrifice ritual. That's what it appeared to me. Well, they put the fish up there. They gut the fish. They take the guy who beat up Bill, takes the blood with his fingers and rubs it across the barmaid's head. I guess she's the queen of the festival or whatever. And people just started leaving and getting into their houses. And so she told Keiko and Shaw, I told y'all to leave. I asked y'all to leave. Y'all did not leave. So now y'all gonna have to face the consequences. So meanwhile, Keiko says, do you feel this? And Shaw's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So she said, do you feel this vibration? And he's like, no, I don't feel nothing. Let's go. Going back to Outpost 18 in 2017, the big Titan is heading back towards the ship. They realized that it was the bug creature that emitted the sound, and they needed to get the bug creature away from the ship. So Shaw takes one of the dinghies, and he's running out in the ocean, trying to go far away from the ship so that the Titan bug creature doesn't get to them. He takes the little creature. That big Titan creature comes up out of the thing, and then you realize it's one of the it's I guess it must be the mother bug creature, because that joker is just a big old huge bug creature. It is the same creature, child. And I'm still asking myself, where the hell is Godzilla? Godzilla is nowhere to be found, and ain't that much sleep in the world. Godzilla ain't that much sweet sleep in the world. You remember I told you back at so let me just continue what happens in 2017. Shaw drops the teacher in the water. The big Titan is a big ass bug creature. Shaw is engulfed by the waves that the big bug creature emitted, and he skirts through the wave. The bug creature attaches to the mother, and then you see attached that there's millions of them little bug creatures, right? So the day is saved. Then we take the flashback back to Chile, back in the day, Keiko's flashback. So she hears the vibration, and then she's like, do you feel that? And he's like, no, but then he started to feel the vibration. Shaw started to feel the vibrations. Baby, next thing you know, they realize they're the only ones out there. They start seeing all these little bug creatures going towards, because mother has come up out the water. They're running to their mama, so she must lay eggs, and after a certain period of time, those eggs, like turtles, they find their way back to the water, but she comes and picks her eggs up, because she ain't that type of mama. She gonna come back for her children. They're running towards her, and Shaw kicks the door, and they're getting ready to go into the door, but for some reason he kicks one of the little bug creatures, and the mama feels the pain of the little bug that got kicked, and then she destroys the shed that Keiko and Shaw jumped in, and I mean destroyed it. We don't know what we know that they survived, but we don't know if they're hurt. We don't know what's going on. We've got to wait to episode 3. Baby, this was a good episode. This episode is showing me now how Monarch is always having so many different people at its helm, because because folks are getting pruned from the timeline left and right. Um, it's also showing us a side of Tim. Tim is probably a good scientist, but he is not a good leader, and that's going to hurt Monarch. In the end, it's going to hurt Monarch, as we know what's going on with Monarch as of today. I'm still interested in the relationship between Keiko, her son, and then her 2 grandchildren. I want to see how that works out. I also want to see if Keiko will experience, because once she becomes topside for a very long time, would she experience some rapid aging, or will her aging continue to kind of? Because you remember, Shaw, his aging, he's supposed to be dead. He's almost over 100 years old. And if you think about it too, Keiko is too, because Hiroshi was born in the 40s, right? 40s or 50s. So they're well over 100 years old. So we will see. But y'all, that is the second episode. What do you all think about this? Do y'all have questions like I have? Like, where is Godzilla? Will Godzilla make another appearance in Monarch Legends of Monsters? What's going on with Apex? Who's going to be the new leader now that director I can't remember what her name, but the director is now dead, and Tim is the acting director. Do you think there's going to be somebody who's going to be Billy Badass? Y'all let me know down in the comments. All right, people, we do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Y'all, please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye-bye.